Hello SPC, Gert here, bringing you a quick rundown of the playoff race, the playoff scenarios, what can happen, who can make it, who might miss playoffs. I'm going to start with the Platinum Division, just because it's easier to map out how this goes down. So myself at the top there, the Old English Ice Cubes, cannot lose their first seed at this point. Even if I lose in this last week, 8-1 guarantees me first seed in Platinum, so job done on that front. The Indiana Tracers, Matthew, a win guarantees playoffs for them. The only way they can miss playoffs is if they happen to lose and all three other 6-2 teams in Platinum win. So they play against the College Station Good Bull over in Crystal. If they happen to lose that match, they need either the Flygons, Sharpedos, or Lombres to lose to make playoffs. Side note, Matt wanted to play me and knock me out in the first round of playoffs, but for that to happen, he would have to lose to Mario and the College Station Good Bull, and then only one of the other 6-2s lose. If all three of them win, they're out. If two of them win, then I think he still stays third seed and won't make fourth seed. So he needs just one of the 6-2s to lose, as well as himself, if he wants that scenario to play out. So just an interesting side note. Flygons, I think they're much the same. A win is safe for them because they've got a much better differential than the Sharpedos and the Lombres. The only way Yash missed playoffs is if he loses. He's playing against the Minnesota Minior over in Crystal, and one other needs to lose. Just one other needs to lose. Because his differential is much better than both the Sharpedos and the Lombres, but mathematically, actually, the Sharpedos could finish above them if they win. Oh no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they can't both be the same record and swap positions. So if the Flygons lose, they get down to 5-3. They need just one of the 6-2 teams to lose, much the same as the Tracers. Yeah. So there's that. Right, on to Anthony, Commissioner, and the Sharpedos. He needs to win, I think, and have better differential than the Lombres if they also win. A win doesn't guarantee safety for the Sharpedos because of their differential. They also need to win by more than the Lombres. They're +3 at the minute, so they've got a slight advantage, but if they only happen to win 1-0 against the Concauders, the first team in the Crystal Division at the moment, and then the Lombres win 5-0, they could still miss playoffs. So they need to win, and they need to win good, really. I think a 4-0 guarantees your safety, actually, because you'll go to +12 and the Lombres can't catch you. Yeah, so you need a 4-0 win, guarantees playoffs for Anthony and the Sharpedos. But you miss playoffs if you lose and the other three 6-2s win, or if you win and Kane and the Lombres win and somehow end up with better diff than you. That's your scenarios there. If you lose, you can still make it, actually, if the Lombres lose and you still end up with better diff than them. If they only lose 1-0, they get down to +4, and if you happen to lose by like 5-0, then you'll end up below the Lombres, both of you at 5-3. So that's your scenarios there, Sharpedos. On to Kane and the bad Lombres. Again, a win and any of the other three 6-2 loses would get them into playoffs. If all three others win, you need to have better differential than the Sharpedos. That's your only chance. You could also make it if you lose and have a better differential than a 6-3 Sharpedos. So if Anthony loses, you need to lose by less, basically. But you could still make it in on a loss, but it's not ideal. So that's the Platinum Division. Unfortunately, none of the other teams have a chance of making playoffs right now. That's Platinum. Over to Crystal, which is a bit more interesting and harder to map out. So in first seed at the moment, Mark and the Carolina Concauders, they are guaranteed playoffs, but they could lose their first seed. If they lose and Mario and the College Station Good Bull win, they could lose their seed. same with the Phalanx. The Phalanx could actually take first seed if both the Conquistadors and the Good Bull lose. So there is that. But you are guaranteed playoffs, Mark, and the Conquistadors. Mario and the College Station Good Bull, guaranteed playoffs because they actually can't finish below third seed, I think, because even if you lose, at worst, you go 5-4 plus 8. None of the 4 and 4 teams, so currently in 4th, 5th, and 6th, the Miniors, Talonflames, and Dittos, none of them can finish above you with a 5 and 4 plus 7. Miniors at best can finish 5 and 4 plus 7, and you at worst can finish 5 and 4 plus 8. So you are guaranteed playoffs. At worst, third seed. But like I said, you can make first seed, or you could end up just staying where you are, depending on a Conquistadors win and a win from yourself. Over to G-Bear and the Phalanx, the Chicago Phalanx. A win would guarantee you playoffs because 6 and 3 can't be caught up by any of the 4th, 5th, and 6th teams there. If you lose, you can still make it in a couple of ways. You can still make it if 2 out of 3 of those 4 and 4 teams lose. So if they end up 4 and 5, you just need 2 of them to end up 4 and 5 in the case that you happen to lose. You can also still make it if you lose and have better differential than any of the other 5 and 3s. So say the Miniors, Talonflames, and Dittos all win and go 5 and 3. 5 and 4, sorry. We could have 4 teams on 5 and 4. You just need to have better differential than them. Yeah, you need to basically do that, which is kind of a big ask because if you happen to lose, at worst you could finish at -1. And if they all win, then you're out. So you need to, if you're going to lose by like 1, so you've got +4, and then like the Talonflames and the Dittos need to win by like +6 to match you. Oh no, +5. They need like a 5-0 win to match you. So that's what you need to do to make playoffs. Now these last 3 teams, the 4 and 4 teams, the Minnesota Miniors, the Talonflames, and the Dittos, are all pretty much in the same scenario. They all need to win and have better differential than any of the other 5 and 4 teams. So if you can't catch the Good Bulls, none of you can catch the Good Bulls, but you could catch the Phalanx on differential if they happen to lose. They're 5 and 4 plus ? You need to finish with 5 and 4 plus more than them, or more than at least 2 of the others. Or you need all of you to lose, all the 4 and 4 teams lose, and have better differential than the other 4 and 4 teams. Because we could see a 4 and 5 team make playoffs. My child is right next to me crying. You could still make playoffs with a 4 or 5 record as long as all 3 of the 4 and 4 teams lose. But it looks like the Miniors have the advantage because they have +2 differential on the other 2. But actually, like, I think on paper and looking at this season's records, they probably have the toughest opponent in this last week. The Miniors play off against the Flygons, which are looking strong this season, whereas the Talonflames play off against Brooks and the Nuzleafs, which are only 2 and 5 this season, and Ryan and the Dittos play against the Jamaican Jolteons. So they've got the bottom 2 teams in the other division this season, which they're both like capable players. They could win just based on this season's performance, this season's record. You have the more favourable matchup than the Minior, so it's a tougher ask for the Minior here, I think. But that is it. None of the other teams in Crystal can make playoffs this season, so if anyone was wondering what their playoff conditions were, there they are. I just wanted to do this because I thought it was really interesting, quite a fun little thing to do. So it's going to be spicy seeing how these matches play out, and see you in playoffs, hopefully. Laters.